It was a normal day on Earth. People went to their work. Children played in the parks. Everything looked peaceful. In a large laboratory in New York City, scientists were looking at their screens. Their faces were full of fear. The sun, the source of all life, had changed. A strange new type of radiation was coming from it, something they had never seen before. Dr. Helen Carter, the lead scientist, stared at the data. Her hands were shaking. This could be the end, she said softly. The team around her went silent. No one knew what to say. The news spread fast. Television channels, social media, and newspapers all said the same thing. Deadly solar radiation approaching Earth. Prepare for the worst. People were scared. They stayed inside their homes. Cities looked empty. Schools closed. Businesses shut down. It felt like the world was waiting for its final hour. Dr. Carter stood in front of the cameras and gave a message to the world. We don't know what will happen. Please stay safe. We will keep you updated. Hours passed. The radiation wave moved closer and closer to Earth. Scientists calculated that the radiation would hit Earth at exactly 3:03 p.m. The clock ticked. 3:00 p.m. People held their breath. 3:01 p.m. Parents hugged their children. 3:02 p.m. The streets were silent. Not even a bird could be heard. 3:03 p.m. The sky changed color for a moment. A strange deep blue. And then, nothing happened. People waited for the pain. They waited for the burning. But nothing came. Slowly, they stepped outside. The sunlight felt warm, but in a different way. A young boy touched his arm. His skin, which used to burn easily under the sun, felt strong now. An old man, who always wore hats to protect himself, removed his hat and smiled. Dr. Carter, standing outside the lab, looked up at the sky. The sun felt welcoming. Soon, doctors and scientists tested people. They found something incredible. Human skin had changed. Cells had become tougher, stronger. The sunlight, which once caused burns and disease, now only made them better. Humans were no longer weak against the sun. They were immune. Dr. Carter wrote in her report, "It is as if nature itself has upgraded us. We are no longer creatures of shadows. We are children of the sun now." People celebrated. They danced in the streets. They laughed and cried. It was a miracle. But not everyone was happy. Far away, beyond the solar system, hidden in the cold dark of space, something else was watching. A large alien ship floated silently, invisible to human eyes. Inside, tall, thin creatures with silver skin looked at the screens showing Earth. One of them, the commander, narrowed his black eyes. "This should not be possible," he hissed. Another alien, a young scout, spoke carefully. "Commander, their bodies have adapted at an impossible speed. This level of evolution is not normal." The commander stared at Earth. For centuries, humans were weak. They feared the sun. They hid from its power. Now, they walk under it like gods. The aliens did not celebrate. They worried. If humans could survive this, what else could they survive? What else could they become? The commander turned to his crew. "Send a message to the High Council," he ordered. "Tell them, the humans have changed, and we must decide what to do next." Back on Earth, people enjoyed their new gift without knowing that eyes from across the galaxy were now focused on them, curious, afraid, and planning. The day the sun changed was not the end. It was only the beginning. Far beyond Earth, hidden in the blackness of space, a giant alien ship floated silently. It was the size of a small moon, covered with dark plates that made it almost invisible against the stars. Inside the ship, hundreds of aliens called the Tylorans moved quickly. They were tall and thin, with silver blue skin that shimmered under the cold lights. Their eyes were large, pure black, with no white at all. Their technology was far beyond anything humans had ever seen. For many years, the Tylorans had been watching Earth. They thought of humans as small, weak, and slow creatures. To them, humans were not dangerous, just interesting animals. But today, everything had changed. In the main control room of the ship, a group of senior Kylorans stood around a large holographic screen. On the screen, images of Earth flashed, humans walking freely under the sun, playing, working, smiling. No fear, no protection, no pain. Commander Sithrak, leader of the ship, watched in silence. Finally, he spoke, his voice like a low hiss. "Explain this." A young scientist stepped forward nervously. "Commander, our sensors confirm it. Humans have adapted to the solar radiation completely. Their cellular structure has strengthened. They are immune." Sithrak's thin fingers tapped the side of the console. His face showed no emotion, but inside, he felt a deep unease. "Impossible," another elder, Tyloran, said. "No species adapts this fast. Evolution takes thousands of cycles." The room buzzed with tension. A tactical officer spoke carefully. "Commander, if they can survive solar radiation, it is possible they can survive much worse. Poisonous environments, extreme temperatures, even attacks from weapons." The room fell silent. Commander Sithrak leaned forward. "Are you suggesting that humans could become unstoppable?" The tactical officer nodded once. "In time, yes." Sithrak stood tall. "Then we must not wait for it in time. We must act now." The Council of Elders, the highest Siloran authority, had clear rules. Observe, but never interfere. Sithrak knew this. But he also knew the truth. If humans continued to evolve like this, they would not stay on Earth forever. One day, they would reach the stars. One day, they might become the rulers of the galaxy. And by then, it would be too late to stop them. Sithrak turned to his officers. "Prepare a test. We will study them closely. We will find their limits, if they have any." The officers bowed and rushed to obey. Back on Earth, people lived happily, unaware that they were being studied by eyes more ancient than they could imagine. Late at night, in quiet towns and lonely roads, strange things began to happen. A man walking home from work saw a flash of blue light and disappeared without a trace. A farmer tending to his field looked up at the sky and saw a black shadow pass over the moon. Then nothing. A group of campers deep in the forest heard a loud humming sound. When they woke up, one of their friends was missing. The world governments tried to hide the news. "Maybe it's just accidents," they said. "Maybe it's natural." But some people knew better. In secret labs, hidden under mountains and deep underground, scientists gathered reports. They looked at the missing people, and then they looked at the sun, and they began to wonder, are we truly alone? Or has our change awakened something out there? Meanwhile, the abducted humans found themselves in strange places, strange worlds that looked nothing like Earth. Burning deserts with no end, frozen lands colder than death, toxic swamps where the air itself could kill. But something amazing happened. The humans survived. Where no other creatures could live, they adapted. Their bodies grew stronger. Their minds grew sharper. Some even began to sense the presence of their captors, though they could not see them. It was as if the sunlight had unlocked hidden powers inside them. Back on the Siloran ship, Sithrak watched the results with growing fear. "They are not just surviving," the science officer said. "They are winning." Sithrak gritted his teeth. This cannot be allowed to continue. He turned to his command panel and pressed a red button. "Send word to the council," he said coldly. "The time for observation is over. We must prepare for war." As Earth slept under the bright stars, its people had no idea that a great storm was gathering far above them. Their greatest strength had just become their greatest danger. And the galaxy was watching. The sky over Earth remained peaceful. The sun shone brighter than ever. But people were no longer afraid. They enjoyed the warmth, walked freely under the blue sky, and believed their problems were over. But they were wrong. Far above, in the deep cold of space, the Tylorans prepared their next move. Commander Sithrak stood before a giant map of Earth, glowing in blue and green lights. His officers gathered around him. "We have observed enough," he said, his voice cold. "Now we test them. We push them beyond their limits. We must know how strong they truly are." The plan was simple. They would abduct more humans, but this time they would not just watch. They would throw them into the harshest, deadliest environments ever created. If the humans failed, it would prove they were still weak. If they survived, then the galaxy would have reason to fear. On Earth, strange disappearances continued. Families reported loved ones missing. Some said they saw lights in the sky before losing consciousness. Some heard strange whispers in their sleep and woke up to find empty beds beside them. Governments tried to control the panic. News channels called them random events. Scientists said it was just psychological fear. But in their hearts, people knew something was coming. Meanwhile, aboard hidden Siloran ships, the captured humans woke up in strange, terrifying places. First trial, the burning world. John Miller, a firefighter from Texas, opened his eyes. He found himself standing on a world of fire. Rivers of lava flowed across the ground. The air burned his skin. The heat was so intense that even breathing hurt. But something inside John had changed. Instead of falling down, instead of crying for help, he stood tall. His body resisted the heat. His skin grew thicker. His muscles became stronger. Step by step, John walked across the burning plains. His body adapted faster with every move. Hidden cameras recorded every moment. Xyloran scientists watched in disbelief. "He should have died within seconds," one of them said. "Instead, he grows stronger." Second trial, the frozen hell. Maria Chen, a young teacher from Canada, woke up on a world of ice. Snowstorms blinded her. The ground cracked under her feet from the cold. The temperature was so low that even metal froze and shattered like glass. Maria wrapped her arms around herself, but not in fear. Slowly, her body began to change. Her blood flowed hotter. Her skin thickened. She no longer shivered. Within hours, she was moving easily through the frozen landscape, hunting for food and building shelter with her bare hands. The Tylorans stared at the screens. "Adaptation speed, beyond calculation," one whispered. Third trial, the toxic swamp. David Reyes, a soldier from Mexico, found himself waist-deep in a swamp. The air was thick with green gas. Breathing, it should have killed him. But instead of falling, David coughed once, and then breathed normally. His lungs adjusted. His body filtered the poison. He marched forward, fearless, even as strange creatures crawled out of the slimy water. In every trial, the humans not only survived, they adapted. They became stronger, smarter, and faster. Each success shocked the Xylorans more. Commander Sithrak watched the reports with cold eyes. "They are not just surviving hostile worlds," he said. "They are thriving. They are learning. They are evolving." But the humans were changing in other ways too. Some of them began to sense things. John Miller could feel when danger was near, before he could see it. Maria Chen could hear the emotions of creatures around her. David Reyes could move silently through any environment, almost invisible. The sunlight had not only made them strong, it had unlocked something deep within them. Hidden potential. New abilities. And they were just beginning to understand their power. Back on Earth, the families of the missing cried for their loved ones. They lit candles, said prayers, and waited. But the world was starting to notice something strange. Plants were growing faster. Animals were acting smarter. People were feeling stronger and healthier than before. The change was not limited to the abducted ones. The entire human race was beginning to evolve. Slowly, quietly, unstoppably. Inside the Tyloran ship, an emergency meeting was called. The science chief spoke with fear in his voice. "Commander, if we do not act now, within a few cycles, humans will become a force we cannot control." Commander Sithrak nodded grimly. "Then prepare the fleet," he ordered. "The testing phase is over. We must move to the next step." A red alarm echoed across the ship. The invasion of Earth had begun. And on Earth, the people smiled under the golden sun, unaware that a great war was rushing toward them, a war that would decide the future of the galaxy. Across the galaxy, in a secret place where few had ever gone, a meeting of great importance was taking place. The Galactic Council, the rulers of thousands of worlds, had gathered inside a giant floating city made of crystal and light. Creatures of every kind were there, beings with wings, creatures made of pure energy, ancient giants with minds older than stars. At the center of the hall, a huge hologram of Earth floated, spinning slowly. The council members looked at it in silence. Finally, the High Speaker, a being made of golden mist, spoke. "The humans have changed," it said. "They are no longer weak. They are no longer small." The room filled with low murmurs. The representative from the cold world of Tarn, a creature with a body like living ice, raised his voice. "This is unnatural. No species evolves this fast. It must be stopped." A being from the flame worlds of Ortha shook his fiery head. "They survived something no one else could. Maybe they are chosen by the universe itself." The debate grew louder. Some wanted to destroy humans immediately. Some wanted to study them. Some were afraid. Others were curious. One elder, older than all the rest, spoke slowly. "If we strike them down now, we become monsters. We must be sure they are a threat before we act." But time was running out. Commander Sithrak's message from the Siloran ship played before the council. "Humans are growing stronger with every passing cycle. They survive every trial. They adapt faster than any known species. They are learning skills we cannot explain. If we wait, they will reach the stars. If we wait, they will not only defend Earth, they will conquer worlds." The message ended. Silence fell again over the council. The choice was clear. Fight now, or risk facing a power that even they could not stop later. Back on Earth, strange changes were becoming impossible to hide. More and more people were developing unusual abilities. A boy in Japan could run faster than a car. A woman in Kenya healed from injuries in seconds. A man in Brazil lifted a fallen tree with one hand to save a child. Scientists were stunned. The governments tried to cover the news, but videos leaked onto the internet. People all over the world started to ask, "What is happening to us?" And more importantly, "What are we becoming?" Some feared it, some celebrated it. But no one could deny it anymore. Humans were evolving into something new, something powerful, something unstoppable. Meanwhile, far above, the Siloran fleet moved into position. Hundreds of dark ships, shaped like sharp knives, hid behind Earth's moon. Their engines were silent. Their weapons were ready. Commander Sithrak stood on the bridge of the lead ship. "We give them one chance," he said. "Surrender or be destroyed." A message was prepared, translated into hundreds of human languages. It was simple. "Surrender your world. Your time is over. You are not fit to rise." The Silorans believed it would be easy. They were wrong. The abducted humans, now returned secretly to Earth by the Silorans after the trials, were already preparing. John Miller, Maria Chen, David Reyes, and dozens of others had changed forever. They had survived burning worlds, frozen hells, and poisonous swamps. They had learned to fight, to adapt, to survive. And they had one thing the aliens could never understand: hope. John stood on a rooftop, looking at the stars. He felt the danger coming, like a deep vibration in his bones. "They're here," he said quietly. Maria nodded. "Then we fight." David smiled. "And this time, we are ready." At the same time, inside the Galactic Council, A final decision was made. The High Speaker announced, "Let it be recorded. If humans survive the Xyloran test, they will be welcomed into the galactic community. If they fail, they will be forgotten forever." The Council would not interfere. The humans would face their greatest trial yet, alone. The entire galaxy watched and waited. Would Earth fall? Or would the impossible happen once again? The stars above Earth shined brightly. The final battle was about to begin, and humanity's destiny would be decided under the burning light of 1,000 suns. The night sky over Earth was full of stars, but hidden behind the moon, the Xyloran fleet waited like a silent storm. Their ships moved into attack formation, dark shadows against the endless black of space. Commander Sithrak stood tall on the command deck. His voice was cold and sure. "Begin transmission." Across every screen, every phone, every radio on Earth, a message appeared. "Surrender your world. You cannot win. This is your only chance to survive." Panic spread in the cities. Fear gripped the hearts of millions. For a moment, it felt like humanity might break. But then, something amazing happened. In New York City, John Miller stood before a crowd. In Tokyo, Maria Chen spoke to thousands. In Mexico City, David Reyes rallied the people. Their message was simple. "We are not the weak creatures you once knew. We have changed. We have evolved. And we will never surrender." Around the world, people rose up. The fear in their hearts burned away, replaced by something stronger. Courage. The sunlight shone down on them, and in that light, humanity found its true strength. The battle begins. The first Xyloran ships appeared in Earth's sky like black knives cutting through clouds. They fired beams of burning energy. Cities shook, oceans boiled, mountains cracked. But humanity was ready. All across Earth, strange powers awakened. Some people could create shields of pure energy. Others could heal the wounded just by touching them. Some moved faster than bullets. Others could lift tanks with one hand. For the first time in history, humanity fought not with fear, but with power. The Xylorans were shocked. Their weapons, which had destroyed worlds before, were now stopped by human hands. Their soldiers, trained for centuries, fell before humans who had learned to adapt in days. In the sky above, John Miller led a group of evolved humans in small, captured alien ships. They moved like lightning, attacking the Xyloran fleet from all sides. Maria Chen used her new abilities to sense enemy strategies before they happened, guiding Earth's defenses. David Reyes led ground teams, striking back against the alien forces wherever they landed. The war was fierce. The sky burned with fire. The ground shook under heavy battles. Millions fought. Millions bulled. But the humans did not break. They grew stronger with every attack. They learned faster than the Xylorans could react. Commander Sithrak's last stand. Commander Sithrak watched in disbelief as his perfect plan fell apart. He snarled at his officers. "Increase firepower. Destroy them." But it was too late. John, Maria, and David led a final assault on Sithrak's flagship. Breaking through its shields, they fought their way to the command center. Face to face, John stood before Sithrak. The alien commander looked down at the human with hate. "You were supposed to be weak," he hissed. John smiled. "You made us strong." With one final strike, John shattered the control systems of the Xyloran ship. The flagship exploded in a ball of blue fire. Across the sky, the other alien ships saw their leader fall, and they fled. The invasion was over. Earth had won. After the battle, the world was scared but alive. Where cities had fallen, new ones began to rise, stronger and brighter. Where fear once ruled, hope now lived. The Galactic Council, watching from afar, made their final decision. The High Speaker announced, "Earth has passed the trial. Humanity is welcome among the stars." Giant ships from friendly alien races arrived. New alliances were made. New doors opened. The future. Under the golden sunlight, humanity began a new journey. They were no longer just a race from one small planet. They were explorers. They were protectors. They were survivors. They were the future. And the galaxy would never be the same again. Because now, the children of Earth walked among the stars.